Narendra Modi has now entered the poll fray. आपदा को भगाना है, बीजेपी को लाना है. That's the slogan he's gifted BJP in Delhi today as he attacked the Aam Aadmi Party and in fact took a veiled jibe at Arvind Kejriwal and of course the grand Sheeshmahal. On one hand, he spoke about how he's gifted over 1,600 flats to the slum dwellers in that slum rehabilitation project, and on the other hand, he also attacked the Aam Aadmi Party for the grand Sheeshmahal and for the corruption that Aam Aadmi Party has brought to Delhi. As a result, Delhiites are now bearing the brunt of it. He's also talked about all the welfare schemes that Delhiites are benefiting out of from the centre, and he also attacked Aam Aadmi Party for blocking central schemes like the Ayushman Bharat. He said that I am not able to be of service to the elderly because it is the Delhi government which is in fact blocking the Ayushman Bharat scheme. In fact, he also referred to Arvind Kejriwal as Kattar Beiman, one who was brought to the front by Anna Hazare. And that was the big attack coming in from the Prime Minister himself as he sounded the poll bugle. Let's also listen in to the reactions.
बीते 10 वर्षों में 4 करोड़ से अधिक गरीबों के घर उनका सपना पूरा किया है. मैं भी कोई शीश महल बना सकता था, लेकिन मेरे लिए तो मेरे देशवासियों को पक्का घर मिले, यही एक सपना था. दिल्ली एक बड़ी आपदा से घिरी है. अन्ना हजारे जी को सामने करके कुछ कट्टर बेईमान लोगों ने दिल्ली को आपदा में धकेल दिया. समग्र शिक्षा अभियान के तहत जो पैसे भारत सरकार ने दिए, ये दिल्ली में ऐसी सरकार बैठी है जिसको दिल्ली के बच्चों के भविष्य की परवाह नहीं है. जो पैसे शिक्षा के लिए भारत सरकार ने दिए, आधे पैसे भी पढ़ाई के लिए खर्च नहीं कर पाए लोग. अभी मैं ये स्वाभिमान फ्लैट के लाभार्थियों से बात कर रहा था यहां आने से पहले, तो ज्यादातर वो इस उत्तरी क्षेत्र के रहने वाले थे. तो मैंने उनको पूछा छठ पूजा कैसी रही. उन्होंने कहा साहब सर पे हाथ फोड़ के कह रहे थे, साहब यमुना जी का हाल इतना खराब हुआ, अब हम तो छठ पूजा क्या करें, इलाके में ऐसा छोटा मोटा करके हम मां की क्षमा मांग लेते हैं. साथियों, आज 10 साल बाद ये कह रहे हैं और बेशर्मी देखो, लाज शर्म का नामो निशान नहीं.
आज प्रधानमंत्री जी बोले दिल्ली में आपदा आई हुई है. कई बार उन्होंने कहा दिल्ली में आपदा आई हुई है, दिल्ली में आपदा. आपदा दिल्ली में नहीं आई, आपदा भाजपा में आई हुई है. 3 तरह की आपदा भाजपा में आई हुई है. पहली आपदा, भाजपा के पास सीएम चेहरा नहीं है. दूसरी आपदा, भाजपा के पास नैरेटिव नहीं है, उन्हें पता ही नहीं चुनाव किस मुद्दे पे लड़ना है. तीसरी आपदा, भाजपा के पास कोई भी एजेंडा नहीं है इस चुनाव के लिए. 10 लाख रुपए के सूट पहनने वाला व्यक्ति, उसके मुंह से शीश महल की बातें अच्छी नहीं लगती.
You can hear the defense come in from Arvind Kejriwal. The Aam Aadmi Party clearly sounding very rattled over there by Prime Minister's attack. But on that note, let me also bring you some perspective, and for that I'm joined in by Aman and Pallavi on the broadcast. Aman, if I could bring with you, using that term Apada, how has Prime Minister launched his attack now against the Aam Aadmi Party? Take us through all those focal points of his attack.
Well, Akanksha, I think number one, it is now very clear that the BJP is going into the Delhi elections with Prime Minister Narendra Modi as the face. They put out a poster earlier today, and Prime Minister Modi is going to lead the campaign as in earlier elections. What is different this time, I feel that the BJP senses that there is anti-incumbency against the AAP on the ground, especially on the issue of corruption. So that is why we are seeing this new coinage, Aapda, or a calamity, Aam Aadmi Party being described as a calamity, and the Prime Minister saying that, look, since they have come to power, be it the Sheeshmahal that the PM has referred to, or be it the other corruption scam, the excise scam, PM saying that these leaders, have gone to jail, they've come out on bail, but the trials are still very much on, and BJP realizes that this is the weak point of AAP in these particular elections because their senior leaders have faced serious corruption charges. Number two, I think the BJP Prime Minister is trying to say that, look, if you have a double engine government, if you have the BJP in the center and BJP in Delhi as well, the development work in Delhi will happen at a faster pace. The Prime Minister is saying he wants to do a lot of things for Delhi, but is impeded because of the confrontational politics of Aam Aadmi Party, which does not cooperate with the center, and hence development of the Delhi by the center is being impeded. He cited the Ayushman Bharat scheme, for example, where the medical insurance scheme has not been adopted by the Arvind Kejriwal government. Delhi and West Bengal are the only two states that have not implemented for political reasons, the BJP feels. So I think BJP is attacking the Aam Aadmi Party on these two counts. The battle is getting rather personal. We saw Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's press conference also. He is taking a snipe at Mr. Modi. But BJP feels that this time in this election, especially with the BSP and the Congress contesting all the 70 seats, they will eat into the AAP vote, the anti-incumbency plus the corruption charges against AAP, which have percolated the BJP feels to the ground amongst the people, will hurt AAP's chances this time.
Oh, absolutely, it will. On that note, let me quickly go across to Pallavi as well, who's also joining us on the broadcast. Pallavi, if you look at the term, at the coinage that was also being highlighted by Aman in terms of Aapada, we've seen how Arvind Kejriwal turned it around. He's, of course, attacked the BJP by saying that you lack an agenda, you lack a chief ministerial face. But has that ever, in the recent elections, sort of backfired for the BJP, given that that's what their defense is? We've never had a chief ministerial face, whether you look at MP or a state like Rajasthan or even Maharashtra till the last moment.
Yes, absolutely, and I agree with you totally that I don't think the BJP sees itself or finds itself on a back foot in case they don't announce the CM face. In fact, the examples you put out, I mean, Chhattisgarh, in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, there was no clarity on who's going to be the CM. I mean, and even if there was a sitting chief minister and if the BJP comes back to power, there have been change in the CM faces, like we saw in the case of Madhya Pradesh, where Shivraj Singh Chauhan did not come back as a chief minister. In Maharashtra also, Devendra Fadnavis made a comeback, and it was not Eknath Shinde. And underlying this is the BJP's formula that faces don't really matter. It's one, your agenda which matters, and second, the trump card which you have, which is in the sense of Narendra Modi factor. And that is exactly the crux of the campaign of the BJP. In its almost first official launch of the BJP's campaign for Delhi elections, we have the entire campaign structure talking about change in Delhi. Delhi mein vikas Modi ke saath. So that's the catchy line which the BJP has deciphered, and that's the point that they're going to go across. That one, double engine ki sarkar, and second, if the Modi government is with you, you have a central government as well as a BJP government of the BJP. You can see the development agenda being pushed forward, unlike the corrupt regime. I'm using the words of the BJP, and also a story of failed promises. And that is why I think when the Prime Minister decided to launch his campaign for Delhi, and it's become a pattern, frankly speaking. He usually launches some development projects, then he makes a political speech. So what is he trying to convey? He's trying to convey is that for me, Vikas or development is number one. That's the priority. That's what I have to offer to people. So the JJ clusters to be replaced with a permanent house and, other benefits, of course.
How do you think that the centre versus state tussle may shape up this entire Delhi election, and what is going to be different this time around? Because this promise of welfare schemes has been quite old now for the Aam Aadmi Party. Could it backfire this time around with the LG also making those interventions, especially after 2023's amendment to the Delhi Services Act?
Well, I think Arvind Kejriwal made it very clear
Yes, please go ahead, Pallavi.
Okay, I think Arvind Kejriwal has made it very clear that, the LG's office has worked like the BJP's office. And, when he tweets out pictures of, say, Suez problems, a lack of facilities, he's actually carrying the BJP voice. Look, there are two ways that the entire issue can be used. The half-state concept which was put forward by Arvind Kejriwal, wherever they have failed, they'll always accuse the BJP government of being the roadblock. And even today he said that, you know, the BJP doesn't want our development programs or my SOPs or freebies to become a success story. So they've used their failures or where they've not been able to fulfill the promises as being because of the BJP. On the other hand, some of the USPs like schools, like health, they'll say, despite the fact that we are a half state, we've managed to do well in those sectors over which we have complete control. That's exactly what's going to be the crux of the argument and point all about in the Delhi elections.
Absolutely, and in fact, as we speak, Pallavi, reactions also are coming thick and fast. So are developments. We've been discussing about how is this going to be a bipolar fight between BJP and AAP, or is this also going to be a tricornered fight? We'll see what the role of the Congress will be. Pallavi, going to request you to stay with us. Let's also listen in to some reactions coming in. In fact, we'll go to the reactions in just a bit, but as we speak, we are getting in breaking inputs that Alka Lamba is being fielded from Kalkaji against the current Delhi CM Atishi is what we are learning. The Central Election Committee of the Congress Party has approved the candidature of Alka Lamba as Congress candidate from the Kalkaji constituency. This is the big breaking input that we are bringing to you. Let's quickly go across to Sharon, who brings us those breaking inputs. Sharon, that's the big chatter right now in terms of how the Congress also could be eating into the vote against the Aam Aadmi Party, and should we now expect that to happen with prime candidates from the Congress Party being fielded against the leading Aam Aadmi Party candidates?
Absolutely, Akansha. The kind of list that is being released by Congress Party shows that this is not going to be a friendly match between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. They are very serious when it comes to the Delhi Assembly election, and that is why they have fielded some of the senior leaders from Delhi for this assembly election, when starting with Sandeep Dixit, who is going to contest against Arvind Kejriwal from New Delhi constituency. And when we talk about Alka Lamba, there was in fact a bit of hesitance from Alka Lamba. She was not really willing to contest from Kalkaji, because when we talk about Alka Lamba, she has contested before from Chandni Chowk seat. Multiple times she has tried even from the Aam Aadmi Party. She was given ticket from the Chandni Chowk constituency. When we talk about when she joined Congress Party, then at that point of time as well, she was given a ticket from Old Delhi. But both the times she has in fact the last time she was not in fact able to win from Old Delhi constituency. And now this time there was in fact a lot of pressure that was coming in from the senior leadership of the Congress Party, asking her to contest from Kalkaji, because they wanted a serious candidate and a women candidate who could give a tough competition to the sitting Chief Minister Atishi from the Kalkaji constituency.
Absolutely, and when you focus on the larger picture, Sherin, everybody's been asking what the role of the Congress would be, because even more so after Prime Minister Modi sounded the poll bugle for the Bharatiya Janata Party, considering that his speech had no mention or attack directed towards the Congress Party. What is the role that Congress will be playing in the Delhi Assembly election? Many have been so far calling it a bipolar fight.
Akansha, there is no doubt to the fact that when we talk about Congress Party's candidature or Congress Party's situation for the Delhi Assembly election, it is weaker compared to the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. When we talk about the BJP, they were able to win all the 7 seats in the Lok Sabha election. And when we talk about Aam Aadmi Party, they have been winning for past 2 assembly elections in Delhi, and Congress has in fact been getting 0 seats when we talk about their situation in the national capital. For 3 times we have been seeing that the Congress Party has not been able to win even 1 seat from the national capital. But this time they are putting in a very serious contest, and that is why they have decided that all the senior leaders of the Congress Party are going to contest, and that is why we are seeing some of the prominent names, be it Sandeep Dixit, be it Alka Lamba, being put forth for contesting from the Delhi election. Yes, you rightly pointed out that as of now it looks like a bipolar contest, but we cannot undermine the grand old party here, because when we talk about the Congress Party, their aim could be to get back the vote bank that has been snatched by the Aam Aadmi Party in the national capital. So their efforts, of course, is going to get back those vote banks and to at least win some of the good seats from the national capital, because for the past 3 times they have not been winning even one seat. Vote share should increase. Some of the seats should be won by Congress party is the aim with which they are going to contest the election this time.
All right, many thanks to you, Sharon, for bringing us all those latest breaking inputs. And with that, let's also listen into some more reactions that have come in. Remember, the political temperatures in the national capital have only been rising by the day. Let's listen in to what both ends of the political spectrum in Delhi have to say.
कांग्रेस ने अपनी लिस्ट जारी कर दी, आम आदमी पार्टी ने जारी कर दी, बीजेपी कहाँ पिछड़ रही है?
नहीं, कहीं नहीं पिछड़ रही। हमारे 70 उम्मीदवार तय हो चुके हैं और हम सबको उन 70 उम्मीदवारों के पीछे कमल का निशान दिखाई देता है। आप व्यक्ति के चेहरे ढूंढ रहे हैं और हमने कमल के निशान पर जाना है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की दिल्ली में सरकार बनानी है।
केजरीवाल तो कह रहे हैं कि जैसे ही बीजेपी के नेता जागते हैं तुरंत गाली देना शुरू कर देते हैं, पेट में दर्द होना शुरू हो जाता है।
केजरीवाल की हताशा, निराशा उनके वक्तव्यों में नजर आती है। इतने बौखलाए हुए कभी नहीं थे, अब उनकी चोरी पकड़ी जा रही है। आज जब वक्त है उनको अपने 12 सालों की जवाबदेही देने का। वो उस पर बात नहीं करते, वो अपने भ्रष्टाचार पे बात नहीं करते, वो सीवर पे बात नहीं करते, वो पानी पे बात नहीं करते, वो बिजली पे बात नहीं करते, वो रोड पे बात नहीं करते। वो बाकी दुनिया का ज्ञान बांटेंगे। दिल्ली को जो ठगने और लूटने का काम किया अरविंद केजरीवाल, वो जवाबदेही तुम्हारी, उसका जवाब दो।
लेकिन वो घोषणाओं पे तो लगातार बात कर रहे हैं, डेली आते हैं, एक नई घोषणा करते हैं, ऑटो वालों के लिए कर दी, उनको वर्दी के लिए भी पैसा देंगे, उनकी बेटियों की भी शादी कराएंगे, महिलाओं को 2100 रुपये देंगे।
सरकार किसकी है? सरकार किसकी है? दिल्ली में आम आदमी पार्टी की। अभी तो आचार संहिता नहीं लगी, तो अभी घोषणा करने की क्या जरूरत है? लागू करें ना। अभी पंजाब में घोषणा की थी कि सभी बहनों को 1000 रुपये दूंगा। 3 साल हो गए, वो बहनें उसका दरवाजा खटखटा रही है, ढूंढ रही है अरविंद केजरीवाल गया क्या। वो पंजाब का लाल तो वहाँ से फरार हो गया। दिल्ली में लोकसभा चुनावों में घोषणा की कि सब बहनों के अकाउंट में सितंबर तक 1000 रुपये आ जाएंगे। वो बहनें भी ढूंढ रही हैं। अरविंद केजरीवाल के नाम का मतलब है झूठ, फरेब और धोखा। तो दिल्ली की जनता इस सच्चाई को स्वीकार करती है। ये घोषणा ही नहीं है, ये जो जमीन खिसक रही है उससे बचने का सिर्फ एक तरह से छलावा मात्र है।
प्रधानमंत्री जी के मुंह से दिल्ली की शिक्षा व्यवस्था के बारे में सुन के बहुत हंसी आ रही है। एक तरफ प्रधानमंत्री जी जो गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री रहे, गुजरात में 25 साल सरकार चलाने के बाद भी गुजरात चुनाव से पहले प्रधानमंत्री जी को एक स्टूडियो में स्कूल बनाना पड़ा और उसके अंदर शूटिंग करानी पड़ी, वीडियो बनवानी पड़ी। और आज दिल्ली के अंदर बड़े बड़े विदेशों से आने वाले लोग कहते हैं हम सबसे पहले दिल्ली के स्कूलों को देखना चाहते हैं। मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी से भी कहूँगा कि आपका स्वागत है, आप दिल्ली के स्कूलों में आइए और खुद निर्णय कीजिए कि दिल्ली के स्कूलों में काम हुआ है नहीं हुआ है। सिर्फ सुनी सुनाई बातों पे यकीन करके उसको इतने बड़े मंच से कहना जो है दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
राजीव जी, आज पीएम मोदी ने एक रैली की जिसपे उन्होंने आम आदमी पार्टी को आपदा से जोड़ा। आप ही आपदा है, आपकी क्या इस पे प्रतिक्रिया?
ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, ये प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा है, बहुत अच्छा स्लोगन भी है और एक तरह से लोगों के मन में जो आपके प्रति, आम आदमी पार्टी के प्रति जो उनका एक सोच है वो बड़ा अच्छी तरह से समराइज करता है। क्योंकि आज आम आदमी पार्टी जो पहले 8, 9, 10 में उन्होंने बहुत सारे वादे किए थे कि हम अलग से राजनीति करेंगे, हम कांग्रेस की तरह राजनीति नहीं करेंगे, हम बड़े बड़े घरों में नहीं ठहरेंगे, हम करप्शन नहीं करेंगे, वो सब छोड़ छाड़ कर वो उन्होंने एक तरह से 180 डिग्री में वो करप्शन भी माहिर हो गए हैं। बड़े बड़े शीशमहल में रहते हैं, बड़े बड़े घर गाड़ियां चलाते हैं और मुख्यमंत्री को भी रिज़ाइन करना पड़ा है क्योंकि करप्शन के चार्जेस के कारण। तो हमारा मानना है और लोगों का मानना है कि दिल्ली की उन्नति के लिए, दिल्ली की प्रगति के लिए, यमुना हो या काम हो या इन्वेस्टमेंट हो या यूथ के लिए रोजगार हो, सब के लिए प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ही एकमात्र एक तरह से काम कर रहे हैं। और ये आम आदमी पार्टी जो एक तरह से प्रदेश के लिए और दिल्ली के लिए एक आपदा बन गया है। अरविंद केजरीवाल ने कहा था कि मैं कांग्रेस की तरह पार्टी नहीं बनाऊंगा और अरविंद केजरीवाल के पार्टी और कांग्रेस में अगर आप देखोगे कोई भी अंतर नहीं है, कोई भी डिफरेंस नहीं है। तो वही जो अरविंद केजरीवाल कहते थे कि मैं बड़े घर में नहीं ठहरूंगा, मैं बड़े घर में नहीं रहूंगा, मैं बड़े गाड़ी नहीं चलाऊंगा, वो आज शीशमहल में रहते हैं और गरीबों के लिए कुछ नहीं करते हैं और पैसा जो है लूटते हैं, जैसे आपने देखा लिकर स्कैम में।
देखिए, चुनाव ज़्यादा आते हैं, चाहे बिहार हो, चाहे महाराष्ट्र हो, चाहे वो दिल्ली हो या राजस्थान हो, प्रधानमंत्री जी जाते हैं और घोषणा करना शुरू करते हैं। तो ये तो एक परंपरा बन गई आजकल कि चुनाव के पहले घोषणा क्यों होती है। चुनाव के पहले तो योजना बन के लागू हो जानी चाहिए, पर चुनाव के वक्त में घोषणा करते हैं। और कभी कभी तो ऐसी घोषणा होती है, जैसे बिहार में उन्होंने कहा कि आपको 50,000 करोड़ दें, 60 दें, 70 दें, 80 दें, क्या दें आपको मालूम? आपको उस घोषणा क्या हुआ किसी को नहीं मालूम। तो ये परंपरा अच्छी नहीं है।
नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने सही कहा है कि दिल्ली को यदि बचाना है, आपदा को हटाना है और भाजपा को लाना है। ये आप नहीं, ये आपदा बन चुकी है और पिछले 10 वर्षों से दिल्ली को बर्बाद करने वाली ये आपदा ही है, जिसने झूठे वादे किए, बच्चों की सौगंध खाई कि बड़े घर में नहीं जाएंगे, शीश महल बना दिया। दूसरी ओर प्रधानमंत्री ने 30,000 गरीबों को आवास दिए। आज भी उन्होंने आलीशान आवास 1600 गरीब लोगों को चाबियां देकर उनके पास थमाई, स्वाभिमान वाले आवास। दूसरी ओर ये अपने शीश महल में करोड़ों रुपए दिल्ली की जनता का खर्च करने में लगे हुए थे। तो विक्टिमहुड कार्ड खेलना और डाइवर्जन कार्ड खेलना, बस यही इनका काम बचा है। आज उनको बताना चाहिए कि क्या आम आदमी पार्टी ने धोखा नहीं दिया है।
All right, we are getting in breaking inputs from Telangana. In fact, we are learning that actor Allu Arjun has been granted bail. This on a surety bond worth 50,000 rupees. This is a big sense of respite now for the actor. Remember, he was out on interim bail, which was granted to him on the very day that he had been arrested on 13th of December. This is with regards to the stampede that had taken place at Sandhya Theatre in December, in which a woman, 35-year-old Revati, even lost her life. Her minor child was also left with severe injuries. And now we are learning that Allu Arjun has been granted bail. The court has asked the actor to furnish 2 sureties and in fact 50,000 rupees worth a deposit. This is the latest breaking input that we are getting in right now. Let's quickly go across to Ananya Bhatnagar, who's bringing us those breaking inputs. Ananya, certainly he will be heaving a sigh of relief, but one, was this on expected lines or not?
Well, definitely, Allu Arjun has been granted bail in this particular case, and very clearly at this particular point of time, Allu Arjun has secured a regular bail, which makes it very, very clear that no kind of arrest can now take place when it comes to Allu Arjun in this particular case. Clearly, 50,000 of a bail bond that needs to be submitted by Allu Arjun along with 2 sureties of like amount. But at this particular point of time, there's a big order coming in from the Chikkapalli court, the Namapalli court in fact, Hyderabad, where he has secured this particular bail from, in fact, the trial court. And very clearly, if you remember that he had already been granted interim bail that was going to end on the 9th of January since the 4 weeks period was to end. However, before that, he secured an absolute relief of a regular bail, and that makes his case even more stronger because now, on the 21st of January, when the Telangana High Court hears, in fact, his petition for quashing of this particular case, he can completely go on to say before the court that, there is a substance in my case that I was not involved. I had no direct implication as far as that stampede was concerned, and that is exactly the argument that had been raised by, S. Niranjan Reddy, the senior advocate who would appear for Allu Arjun, had stated that he had given a prior intimation to the police, and it was basically a failure of the police authorities there that led to, in fact, that stampede going on and that unfortunate deaths happening due to that particular stampede. So very clearly a big relief coming in for the Pushpa 2 actor in fact, the stampede case at the Sandhya Theatre.
Now that the NHRC has also stepped into the picture and asked for the Hyderabad Police Commissioner to submit a detailed report, do you think that this entire development, which is also questioning the role of the Telangana police, has worked in favor of the actor?
Well, definitely, that has worked in the favor of the actor, though NHRC is a different constitutional body and its orders won't have much implication on what happens before the trial court and the Telangana High Court. But at this same point of time, the facts that have been submitted by the police, the facts that has been stated by the police somewhere or the other did not find way, and the arguments that were put forth by Allu Arjun's counsel is something that has found its weight when it comes to the trial court, and in fact before the Telangana High Court as well, because he had secured interim bail from the Telangana High Court earlier. That too, even after he was arrested by the Telangana police, he did not have to spend the time in the prison. And very clearly, at this particular point of time, this can be a turnaround in this whole stampede case, because Allu Arjun is somebody who has secured this big relief as far as this whole case with regards to the stampede at Sunday Theatre, all that Pushpa 2 premiere is concerned. And very clearly, the clear argument that has remained from Allu Arjun was that, that he has been charged wrongly in this particular case, because he should not have been charged for, a murder of a particular person, because he is not somebody who is directly connected to what had happened. They have already given, in fact, an intimation beforehand to the police authorities. They had asked the police authorities there in Telangana to make those particular arrangements there, and then also this kind of an incident took place. That is completely a failure of the authorities there, and not his failure. So very clearly at this particular point of time, a big release coming in for the Pushpa 2 actor from the Namapalli court in Hyderabad, and very clearly 50,000 rupees of bail bond and 2 sureties of like amount to be submitted.
All right, major breaking input coming in over there. Ananya Bhatnagar bringing us those breaking inputs. Thank you so much, Ananya. And with that, it's time to slip into a quick break. We'll be back with the latest. Stay tuned to Nation at 5 as we return in just a bit.
A year ago.
Last night, January 1st at approximately 11:18 p.m., the NYPD received multiple 911 calls for several people shot in front of an event space located here at 91-12 144th Place. Our initial investigation revealed that approximately 90 people were inside the location in an upstairs private event space. The venue was at capacity and a queue of about 15 people formed outside awaiting as other attendees exited. 4 males were walking eastbound on 91st Avenue onto 144th Place towards the venue. 3 to 4 males then opened fire over 30 times in the direction of the group standing outside the event space, striking multiple victims. The males fled on foot westbound on 91st Street towards 143rd Place, where they entered a light-colored sedan with out-of-state plates. Officers responding to the multiple 911 calls found a total of 10 victims, 6 females, 4 males, which were taken to area hospitals. All of the victims are expected to recover with non-life-threatening injuries.
A Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel, Las Vegas, Wednesday morning. Las Vegas police released this video of the blast, which killed the driver and injured several others. They also released footage that showed the vehicle's interior afterward, which they said showed gas and camp fuel canisters, as well as large firework mortars. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the blast was unrelated to the Cybertruck itself, saying in a post on X, quote, "All vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion." FBI Special Agent Jeremy Schwartz told reporters on Wednesday that it was not yet clear whether the blast was an act of terrorism.
I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
He added the vehicle had been rented in Colorado and that the FBI had identified the driver, but was not yet ready to publicly name them. The Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas is part of the Trump Organization, the company of President-elect Donald Trump, who will return to the White House later this month. Musk was a key backer of Trump in his 2024 presidential campaign and is also an advisor to the incoming president. The explosion occurred just hours after a man drove a truck into crowds of New Year's Day revelers in New Orleans, killing 15. The FBI said an ISIS flag was attached to a staff protruding from the trailer hitch, and that a potential explosive device was found in the rented vehicle. Las Vegas police said both that vehicle and the Cybertruck had been rented through car-sharing service Turo. President Joe Biden on Monday said law enforcement was still investigating whether the Las Vegas explosion and the New Orleans attack were linked.
More than a dozen people were killed by a man crashing his pickup truck into a crowd in New Orleans on New Year's Day. Several more people were injured by the attack on revelers in the city's French Quarter. Reuters obtained the following of first responders in the aftermath. Some viewers may find graphic. It happened around 3:15 a.m. at the intersection of Canal and Bourbon Streets, a historic tourist destination. An eyewitness said she heard the rev of an engine, a loud impact, then screams.
5 years after the COVID-19 pandemic rocked the entire world, there is a mysterious virus which is now making a comeback. This is in China as hospitals are again reaching their full capacity. There are viral videos which are now indicating this mysterious virus which is known as the HMPV. We are also learning that this is very similar in nature compared to COVID-19. This is in fact causing flu-like symptoms as well. The virus usually is affecting the upper respiratory system but can sometimes also cause lower respiratory problems as well. What we are learning, young children, older adults and those with weakened immune systems are at a higher risk of developing severe illness due to the HMPV. Meanwhile, the Indian government is also monitoring the rise in cases in China and certainly sending the entire medical fraternity in India on an alarm. And we'll have to see if this is also going to be similar in nature in terms of the outbreak that the world had witnessed back in 2019. On that note, let's quickly go across to Dr. Manoj Kumar, who is from Max Hospital, joins me live on the broadcast. Many thanks to you, Doctor, for joining in. For those unaware, do shed light on what the HMPV is.
You rightly said there is a sudden surge in the cases in the northern province of China by HMPV, that is called human metapneumovirus. So it is a RNA virus, enveloped RNA virus, and it is causing very similar to the cold, common cold or flu-like symptoms, but especially it affects the children below 5 years and elderly more than 65 years old. But the important thing that all respiratory infection during winter, almost 20% of the cases are due to this HPMV, that is the metapneumovirus, human metapneumovirus. But 10%, 5 to 15% of the cases, they worsen. They can cause pneumonia, bronchiolitis, severe bronchitis, and lower respiratory tract infection. Usually, the incubation period of this virus is around 3 to 5 days, and immunity induced by this viral infection is for very less time, so repeated infection is possible. It is a RNA enveloped virus, and there is no specific antiviral for this virus now. Presently, there is no antiviral therapy, so only supportive treatment is available. Definitely, it can progress, it can increase the cases, number of cases. We can expect that it can increase in near
Absolutely.
future.
And given that we've seen how COVID-19 in fact changed the entire trajectory of the globe back in the year 2019. Doctor, I'm sure many would want to know if India should be worried as well, considering the last time the virus came from China only.
Definitely, we have our finger bond with the COVID, and it started from China. The similar mysterious virus is from again China, but I think that this is very close to the respiratory syncytial virus, and many of the children of our country also getting this infection. But unfortunately, there is no specific treatment for this drug, and the immunity induced by the infection is very short-lived, so it is not giving a permanent immunity to this. But definitely, it can affect the children, especially the children who are below 5 years of age. They can have severe pneumonia and it can be lethal. So definitely we require a close watch. Although the prevention of this disease is possible, we can adopt the same things which we have adopted for the COVID, that to maintaining social distancing, hand hygiene, and this respiratory etiquette is very important because it spreads by the contact and by the sneezing and droplets. So we have to be very cautious.
And when you're talking about that one has to be cautious, what are those precautions that one can take? Also, do shed light on whether the existing vaccines do have any effect on this virus or not.
I don't think any vaccine will give any protection for this virus, especially for this human metapneumovirus. There is no vaccine, there is no antiviral drugs, specific antiviral drugs, especially when you have fever. The children have high-grade fever, sometimes sneezing, nasal discharge. You can treat them symptomatically. For paracetamol, you can use for the fever. For the nasal, you can use anti-allergic. But main thing, you have to break the chain of spread, and it is mostly due to the contact of the infected person. Those who have this type of symptoms, they should avoid going out, and they should confine themselves. That same thing like isolation of the patient is very important. And similarly, hand hygiene is very important. Washing your hands, not allowing touching your hands to the nose, nostril, and eyes is a very important steps by which you can prevent this.
Absolutely. Pretty much the same precautions to be maintained in case of this virus as well. Dr. Manoj Kumar, it was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for shedding light on all those insights. And with that, it's time to slip into a quick break. We'll be back with the latest news stories. Stay tuned to Nation at 5.
Last night, January 1st at approximately 11:18 p.m., the NYPD received multiple 911 calls for several people shot in front of an event space located here at 91-12 144th Place. Our initial investigation revealed that approximately 90 people were inside the location in an upstairs private event space. The venue was at capacity and a queue of about 15 people formed outside awaiting as other attendees exited. 4 males were walking eastbound on 91st Avenue onto 144th Place towards the venue. 3 to 4 males then opened fire over 30 times in the direction of the group standing outside the event space, striking multiple victims. The males fled on foot westbound on 91st Street towards 143rd Place, where they entered a light-colored sedan with out-of-state plates. Officers responding to the multiple 911 calls found a total of 10 victims, 6 females, 4 males, which were taken to area hospitals. All of the victims are expected to recover with non-life-threatening injuries.
A Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel, Las Vegas, Wednesday morning. Las Vegas police released this video of the blast, which killed the driver and injured several others. They also released footage that showed the vehicle's interior afterward, which they said showed gas and camp fuel canisters, as well as large firework mortars. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the blast was unrelated to the Cybertruck itself, saying in a post on X, quote, "All vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion." FBI Special Agent Jeremy Schwartz told reporters on Wednesday that it was not yet clear whether the blast was an act of terrorism.
I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
He added the vehicle had been rented from Colorado and that the FBI had identified the driver, but was not yet ready to publicly name them. The Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas is part of the Trump Organization, the company of President-elect Donald Trump, who will return to the White House later this month. Musk was a key backer of Trump in his 2024 presidential campaign and is also an advisor to the incoming president. The explosion occurred just hours after a man drove a truck into crowds of New Year's Day revelers in New Orleans, killing 15. The FBI said an ISIS flag was attached to a staff protruding from the trailer hitch, and that a potential explosive device was found in the rented vehicle. Las Vegas police said both that vehicle and the Cybertruck had been rented through car-sharing service Turo. President Joe Biden on Monday said law enforcement was still investigating whether the Las Vegas explosion and the New Orleans attack were linked.
More than a dozen people were killed by a man crashing his pickup truck into a crowd in New Orleans on New Year's Day. Several more people were injured by the attack on revelers in the city's French Quarter. Reuters obtained the following of first responders in the aftermath. Some viewers may find graphic. It happened around 3:15 a.m. at the intersection of Canal and Bourbon Streets, a historic tourist destination. An eyewitness said she heard the rev of an engine, a loud impact, then screams.
And debris, just metal the sound of crunching metal and bodies.
Police say the driver was 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar.
Welcome back. We're getting in breaking inputs. This is with regards to the lone wolf attack in New Orleans that took place a day ago. In fact, our securities editor, Mr. Manoj Gupta, is bringing us these exclusive intel inputs where it's in fact been shared that the rebel forces in Syria have now led to the kind of jihadist activities and do expect a spike in these kind of jihadist activities after the dethroning of Bashar al-Assad, which has in fact given more space to this kind of Islamic terrorism. And that is why ISIS is now going to be perhaps back to operate, where they will be using a new modus operandi, which is going to perhaps involve attacks using cars, which is an ISIS tactic, one that has been known for a while. It is a low expertise and high impact attack where cars are used to mow down over pedestrian areas, and at the same time we've seen a similar tactic was also used during the Christmas market in Germany as well. But that is the big breaking input that we are bringing to you. In fact, we are learning that intel sources have in fact also confirmed this kind of modus operandi that is being referred to by the new terrorist forces. ISIS footprints are visible and similar like the one in Germany as well. USA attack is nothing but the ideology attack similar to that which was witnessed in Sri Lanka, where ISIS core was not even aware of the attack. Recently, after this ISIS ideology became very strong, that for jihad superpower is nothing and quite a game changer in the Syrian regime change. ISIS attacks in the US are part of a broader global jihadist campaign, and ISIS views the US as a leading symbol of Western power and culture. Many would want to say that Bashar al-Assad was also keeping tabs on these jihadist forces, which have now attained a free hand after, in fact, after Bashar al-Assad was removed as well. On that note, let me quickly bring in our guest today. I'm joined in by Major General S.P. Sinha, who's also a defense expert, joining us live on the phone line. Many thanks to you, Mr. Sinha, for joining in. What do you make of this new modus operandi that's now being used? As the intel inputs we have are indicating that this is also to do with the fall of Bashar al-Assad.
You see, let's analyze the mindset of these people, these jihadis. First of all, I'd like to make a comment that this Jabbar was ex-army veteran. He was in 2009 or 2010. He was employed by US in Afghanistan.
Yes.
So he's the military experience and the training. So he has exploited the training, and he's a jihadi mindset. He who was a Muslim, he changed his religion. He came back to Muslim religion again, and then he got influenced by ISIL. That the pattern of his attack shows that is a lone wolf attack. That means they very intelligently select a target where there's a huge crowd, and they use some transport. In this case, a carrier vehicle. They have borrowed it from a company, and they have used this vehicle, and they have rammed into the crowd. Once you start, recklessly driving into the crowd, then many people obviously get injured because they are not aware that the vehicle is coming to hit them. So I think this mindset, these people are totally brainwashed, and I personally feel that the teachings that their Maulvis give them, that is the sole reason why these people get injected with total fanaticism, and that results in these incidents of jihad.
That's true, but is this also a lesson to be learned for the United States, given that the Biden administration was one of the first ones to celebrate the fall of Bashar al-Assad, but turns out that it's perhaps not such good news for them, given that all these rebel forces and the jihadist forces have only been unleashed now on Syria. So far, it was believed that ISIS has been wiped out, whether it is Syria or Iraq.
You see, when established leaders are removed from the Western countries due to regime change philosophy of America, then the turbulence starts. If Saddam Hussein was not removed, so much of chaos, ISI wouldn't have got so much of mileage. So America has to wait. Reset its strategy. They want peace, continuity, stability, or they want regime change. And once they remove a well-established leader, like in Syria you're saying, these things are bound to happen because certain jihadi elements will come in the power and they will start behaving in an arbitrary and irresponsible manner. What is happening in Orleans. Second thing, when a Muslim is trying to hire a transport, the company should refuse. Why have they given him transport? Thirdly, this man, Jawar, posts a video hours before he carries out the attack. What is the intelligence agencies doing? Aren't they monitoring the social media? And they were that he's a fanatic and he's claiming that soon he will get into action.
Right.
I think there's an intelligence failure also.
There
once we know that these people are apt to doing this, then I think the government of the day has to be on guard. The intelligence agencies have to be on guard. But
absolutely, completely agree with you, Major General Sinha, given that they had also made an arrest associated with an ISIS operator in the month of October last year itself, and yet such attacks took place, not just the one in New Orleans, but also the one in Vegas. Many thanks to you, Major General Sinha, for joining in on Nation at 5. And with that, we slip into a quick break. We'll be back with more news and updates. Stay tuned to Nation at 5.
A year ago.
Last night, January 1st at approximately 11:18 p.m., the NYPD received multiple 911 calls for several people shot in front of an event space located here at 91-12 144th Place. Our initial investigation revealed that approximately 90 people were inside the location in an upstairs private event space. The venue was at capacity and a queue of about 15 people formed outside awaiting as other attendees exited. 4 males were walking eastbound on 91st Avenue onto 144th Place towards the venue. 3 to 4 males then opened fire over 30 times in the direction of the group standing outside the event space, striking multiple victims. The males fled on foot westbound on 91st Street towards 143rd Place, where they entered a light-colored sedan with out-of-state plates. Officers responding to the multiple 911 calls found a total of 10 victims, 6 females, 4 males, which were taken to area hospitals. All of the victims are expected to recover with non-life-threatening injuries.
A Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel, Las Vegas, Wednesday morning. Las Vegas police released this video of the blast, which killed the driver and injured several others. They also released footage that showed the vehicle's interior afterward, which they said showed gas and camp fuel canisters, as well as large firework mortars. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the blast was unrelated to the Cybertruck itself, saying in a post on X, quote, "All vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion." FBI Special Agent Jeremy Schwartz told reporters on Wednesday that it was not yet clear whether the blast was an act of terrorism.
I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
He added the vehicle had been rented from Colorado and that the FBI had identified the driver, but was not yet ready to publicly name them. The Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas is part of the Trump Organization, the company of President-elect Donald Trump, who will return to the White House later this month. Musk was a key backer of Trump in his 2024 presidential campaign and is also an advisor to the incoming president. The explosion occurred just hours after a man drove a truck into crowds of New Year's Day revelers in New Orleans, killing 15. The FBI said an ISIS flag was attached to a staff protruding from the trailer hitch, and that a potential explosive device was found in the rented vehicle. Las Vegas police said both that vehicle and the Cybertruck had been rented through car-sharing service Turo. President Joe Biden on Monday said law enforcement was still investigating whether the Las Vegas explosion and the New Orleans attack were linked.
More than a dozen people were killed by a man crashing his pickup truck into a crowd in New Orleans on New Year's Day. Several more people were injured by the attack on revelers in the city's French Quarter.
Welcome back. Not such good news coming in for the common man from Karnataka, because the Karnataka Congress continues to face revenue deficit. And in the latest, what we are learning is that there's been a price hike in terms of the bus fare, which has now been increased by 15%. Soon after, the BJP was very quick to attack the Congress government in Karnataka. They've also highlighted how the Karnataka bus corporations continue to, in fact, have pending dues, not to forget the fact that over 40,000 crore rupees is being borrowed by the Karnataka state government in the next 3 months is what we are learning. And the BJP now took to streets in Karnataka, and they in fact were protesting, including the leader of opposition in Karnataka is accused the government of not being able to look after the common man and yet try and only look and focus on the welfare schemes or meet their guarantees. This despite robust tax collection. BJP was also quick in highlighting that while the free bus service for women in Karnataka continues, it is the men in Karnataka who are now bearing the brunt.
See, every subsequent government, when it has come in power, there's so many things, always the taxation is there. So comparatively from 2004 till 2014, when UPA government was there, are they ready to come and have a debate with us? Can you go and ask the same question to them? This is a very specific question. From 2000 to 13, when we were in government, from 2004 to 2014, when we were in UPA 1 and UPA 2, let us compare to UPA 1, UPA 2 to now NDA 1 and NDA 2, 10 years. And let us compare from 2013 to 18, when we were there, and what they have done from 2013 to 18 to 20. Are they ready to compare? Let's have a discussion on that. Are they ready to come and discuss? Now what has happened, for everything they have to go, they have to talk publicly. The Shakti scheme is not only the Shakti scheme. Air Railway, there's an increase. If Tamil Nadu has increased, every state has increased, right? And what about in UP, Gujarat? They have to be holistic. They cannot pick and choose and take a point. So now the point which I have raised, if the subsidies were given by the government of India more, this wouldn't have been pan-India, right?
This government become pauper. There is no money in pocket of Siddaramaiah. That's why they are doing to this pauper government. You know Himachal Pradesh government become pauper. CM told, I will give back to government. So same thing will happen in Karnataka also. Siddaramaiah. Naturally, people are scolding this government. People are scolding Siddaramaiah. He is the worst CM never seen in the Karnataka history. This is the people they are saying. Wherever you go, you ask anybody, you ask any people, 15% hike. How can they pay?
Government has decided, and we have given administrative approval for increase of 15% of rates, ticket prices to be enhanced, raised. And 15% is raised because of the deficit that the corporation was facing, all the corporations were facing. And with this increase, there will be some sort of a return of 74.84 crores every month. This increase will give 74.85 crores every month. This will try to reduce the losses that those nigams, corporations were suffering.
All right, so the opposition continues to question if the corporations or the nigams are continuing to face losses. Why has the Karnataka Congress made promises of those guarantees, one which it cannot afford? On that note, we slip into a quick break. We'll be back with the latest news and updates. Stay tuned to Nation at 5.
Brought to you by...
Last night, January 1st at approximately 11:18 p.m., the NYPD received multiple 911 calls for several people shot in front of an event space located here at 91-12 144th Place. Our initial investigation revealed that approximately 90 people were inside the location in an upstairs private event space. The venue was at capacity and a queue of about 15 people formed outside awaiting as other attendees exited. 4 males were walking eastbound on 91st Avenue onto 144th Place towards the venue. 3 to 4 males then opened fire over 30 times in the direction of the group standing outside the event space, striking multiple victims. The males fled on foot westbound on 91st Street towards 143rd Place, where they entered a light-colored sedan with out-of-state plates. Officers responding to the multiple 911 calls found a total of 10 victims, 6 females, 4 males, which were taken to area hospitals. All of the victims are expected to recover with non-life-threatening injuries.
A Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel, Las Vegas, Wednesday morning. Las Vegas police released this video of the blast, which killed the driver and injured several others. They also released footage that showed the vehicle's interior afterward, which they said showed gas and camp fuel canisters, as well as large firework mortars. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the blast was unrelated to the Cybertruck itself, saying in a post on X, quote, "All vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion." FBI Special Agent Jeremy Schwartz told reporters on Wednesday that it was not yet clear whether the blast was an act of terrorism.
I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
He added the vehicle had been rented from Colorado and that the FBI had identified the driver, but was not yet ready to publicly name them. The Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas is part of the Trump Organization, the company of President-elect Donald Trump, who will return to the White House later this month. Musk was a key backer of Trump in his 2024 presidential campaign and is also an advisor to the incoming president. The explosion occurred just hours after a man drove a truck into crowds of New Year's Day revelers in New Orleans, killing 15. The FBI said an ISIS flag was attached to a staff protruding from the trailer hitch, and that a potential explosive device was found in the rented vehicle. Las Vegas police said both that vehicle and the Cybertruck had been rented through car-sharing service Turo. President Joe Biden on Monday said law enforcement was still investigating whether the Las Vegas explosion and the New Orleans attack were linked.
More than a dozen people were killed by a man crashing his pickup truck into a crowd in New Orleans on New Year's Day. Several more people were injured by the attack on revelers in the city's French Quarter. Reuters obtained the following of first responders in the aftermath. Some viewers may find graphic. It happened around 3:15 a.m. at the intersection of Canal and Bourbon Streets, a historic tourist destination. An eyewitness said she heard the rev of an engine, a loud impact, then screams.
And debris, just metal, the sound of crunching metal and bodies.
Police say the driver was 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jibe, an army veteran from Texas. Officers said they found an ISIS flag in the vehicle. Jibe was said to be in full military gear, subsequently got in a shootout with police and was killed. The incident has prompted an investigation into possible links to terrorist organizations. Investigators say they found weapons and potential explosives in the suspect's vehicle. They also say he may not have acted alone. A search is ongoing for his known associates.
Welcome back. It is 2025 and the future of mobile phones is also in. When you talk about what you expect in terms of the latest, of course, you can expect foldable designs, 5G, and the most unparalleled camera technology. In fact, we are also joined in by a tech expert, Rubina Mungia, who shares more insights. I'll leave you with this report. Thank you so much for watching Nation at 5.
Now, the smartphone market never slows down, and as we enter the new year, get ready to see some amazing new technology, AI and features in the upcoming smartphones. So here are a few flagship smartphones we can't wait to see this year. First, of course, is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. The S24 Ultra was widely regarded as one of the best smartphones of 2024, and its successor promises to take things even further. Now, the Galaxy S25 Ultra will feature the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite processor for really fast performance, 12 GB of RAM, better, more vibrant display, upgraded cameras, new AI-powered features with Galaxy AI to enhance productivity, and of course, the iconic S Pen. Second is for the OnePlus fans. OnePlus 13 is coming very soon and it's got a lot of new features, including a massive 6000 mAh battery with 100-watt fast charging. It will also feature Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset for smooth multitasking, upgraded camera technology for stunning photos and videos, and it will be more durable with IP69 rating for durability against water and dust. Then we have the Nothing Phone 3 coming. Now Nothing continues to make waves with its unique designs and cutting-edge features. The Nothing Phone 3 is rumored to include a top-tier camera system with advanced AI features, a transparent back panel and glyph lighting, that stands out in any crowd, and a user-friendly interface with intuitive, innovative features. It's going to be powered by Apple Intelligence now that it's here. They're parts borrowed from the iPhone 14 and iPhone 15, ensuring premium quality. For gaming lovers, Asus ROG Phone 9 is also on the cards. It is designed to meet your gaming needs with Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset for top-tier gaming performance, a 165Hz refresh rate, display for smooth visuals, a robust 5800 mAh battery with enhanced cooling for longer gaming sessions. Now later this year, we will of course see the iPhone 17, iPhone's flagship for 2025. Now it is poised to revolutionize the smartphone experience. Rumored features include a titanium body and a seamless edge-to-edge display. It will of course be more faster, more
Good evening, you're watching Plain Speak with me, Grihatul. We are coming to you live from the CNN News 18 Primetime Studio, presented by Green Lamb Laminates. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced his entry into the Delhi dangle with the no-holds-bar attack against Arvind Kejriwal and his Aam Aadmi Party. I would rather give homes to the poor.